For this one of my, I don't know about anybody or everybody else, but for me, one of the challenges is remembering where I am in the dynamics, because it starts piano and we have that crescendo and then it ends piano. And I found myself when I was practicing it losing track of where the phrase was going, because it's not really forte until here. But we're not forte in this one until the beginning of, what is that, the fourth line? And for me, I think I do all right pacing, like dynamic wise, until I get to that first forte. But then I don't quite know what to do with it. And it kind of just is forte. There's some crescendos and it's forte again. So I want to go and find out like where it's going to come back. The moments where it pushes forward in terms of dynamics, not in terms of like time, I feel like are well indicated through that middle section. But I'm going to go and plot some places for it to relax and pull back a little bit so that it feels like it makes sense. So my understanding of this, or my interpretation of this rather, is that this first section up to the first repeat that I'm not doing at the moment shouldn't really get any louder than like mezzo forte. So this little crescendo here would get to about like a mezzo forte, and then this is subito piano. And I guess that's about it until this crescendo at the end of that section to the forte in the fourth line. So I'm going to play from the, actually, I'll come back to the beginning later. I'm going to start in the fourth line, the second little section. I want to find that first spot where it feels like it should pull back or get a little bit quieter for a bit. So what I was feeling through there was like it's a little bit of this. Like just following the line. I remember somewhere, it was probably in like a wind band, like a wind ensemble class rehearsal, where someone said to like, if there's no dynamic marked and like the notes are going higher, do the opposite, play a little bit softer to keep it even, you know, so the high notes don't stick out. And the same thing, the notes are getting like lower, to play a little bit louder so that they don't sound softer unintentionally. I think that's a really good like way to coach someone who's less experienced on the instrument. But for something like this, I like to think that Polatschek knew what he was doing. So he wanted this kind of like wave, this kind of rise and fall. So I think I'm going to just let that happen. Nope, I lied. So it's not two measures. It's more like a measure of consistency. And then the little hairpins are within the second measure. So it's like, this is kind of forte throughout. And then here, have a little bit of up and down. And then here, forte kind of throughout. And then this. So let me try that again. I think through here, I'm going to pull it down a bit so it's a little bit softer, maybe like a mezzo forte or so before this crescendo. And then there'll be back forte here. Let me try that with the beginning. I'll stop somewhere around that chromatic ascent in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 line. Up a little bit, but that wasn't so bad. I think I'm going to just take a breath here. It's going to be really weird and awkward, but I can't make it to that next breath, that next rest with that one, especially not in my current state. Let me try that again. You know, actually, I think I may not have taken a good breath at that rest before. So let me try that instead and see if it's better. that's a decent place to breathe. I don't remember where I did the other one, but I don't know that I loved it. So I'm not sure I'm going to mark it in. I think I'm just going to play it again. You know, I'm just going to breathe after that C. I think that'll make the most sense. Yeah, I think that'll work. It's not like perfect. Having to break these phrases to grab a breath is not like 100% ideal, but if you play a wind instrument, you have to breathe somewhere. So that's where I'm going to breathe. I'm going to start on the forte and keep going. And one thing that I need to remember, and it's something I've always found to be like a weakness in my playing that I always have to revisit. For me, the thing I always have to stay on is not clipping my notes before breath. So I like to write like a little bit of, it's like a tenuto. It's not really a tenuto. A tenuto functions very differently than what I mean. But to me, that line just means that I'm not going to chop that note short. It's more of a line that's meant to be like an anti-staccato than anything else. That I'm going to remember to keep that note long before I grab the breath and not cheat it or shorten it. So it has time to really like resonate and sound nice and full before I move on to whatever's next. And sometimes like I maybe I get better. I get to a point where I don't need to mark those things or mark those every time. But like usually I do need to mark it. And if I haven't marked it, I probably should because I'm probably not treating it the way it needs to be treated. So let me do that much again. Quick page turn. So through here, I need to decide what I'm doing with my dynamics. I think maybe this whole section is going to diminuendo just a little bit. Really all through these next like 6 or so bars, just gradually. So maybe like by here, it's a mezzo forte. And then until even through here, this next page. So that's like a mezzo piano-ish by here. And then it can start crescendoing a little bit through here before this last big diminuendo. So maybe it's back to about mezzo forte here. Let me try that and see how that works. No, I lied. I think I want to keep it up, like the forte more or less through here. And then this is where diminuendo will start. Let me try that section one more time. think I could even put just the tiniest bit of like grit right there. Just pull it back just a little bit. I think I like that better. I think I'm going to keep going. So I'm going to take that breath there, and this is going to have a little bit of pullback too. I think I can free this up quite a bit. I've been playing it rather strict in terms of tempo, and I think there's more freedom to be had. Go back to where I wrote in that breath. Yeah, and I breathe there, but I want to make that E, the lower E, nice and long. But I'm also going to make the higher E not nice and long, but just not too short. So I have that crescendo. So this is at least mezzo forte, but I think I'm going to make this here subito piano. Oops. Actually, I held that too long, and I played an F natural, I think, both times there. So let's circle that F sharp. This is only one beat. I've been holding it for two, and that's wrong. I'm going to need a breath in there. And I like that this kind of diminuendos all the way through. I like that this kind of relaxes / dims all the way through here. I think I'll just take the breath after the A, after that resolution. I'll do that much one more time. Oops, I messed that up. I'm cheating the slur a little bit from the high A to the E because I'm using the same fingering. So I'm changing nothing in my fingers. It's all here. But to make that transition a little bit cleaner, I'm articulating very lightly on the E. But if I'm not prepared for the A, it doesn't happen. I also don't want to breathe there because of that. I find that I can get a cleaner start on that high A if there's no breath before it. But I don't want that note, that A before, to be too short. Let me do a little bit of that again. I'm going to go from the trill. I think I'm going to crescendo through to the end as well. So here is like mezzo piano-ish before I start that last ascent. So I think I've been speeding up a little bit, and this was marked Allegro moderato, so it shouldn't be that fast. So I'm going to go back and play it for a bit with the metronome to make sure I'm not going too fast. I'm shooting for dotted quarter equals 90. I forgot to turn earlier. I was rushing a little bit there too. Let me do that again. That's a little bit better. I wasn't too far off before, but I was rushing just a little bit. And I find that like what I like to call these middle Allegro tempos, if that makes sense, like Allegro moderato, or even like moderato, I feel like it's even harder with something like this to keep it like not held back, but like it shouldn't start feeling like a measure per click, you know, that's way too fast. And so I want to try it again now that I've run it through with the metronome. And I think I'm going to play it from the top, but I need to put in a couple more breaths. Like there are a couple of the breaths I feel like I may have pushed the tempo just a little bit to get to them. So maybe the solution, instead of just like beating myself up for not being patient, that's not the solution. The solution is just to give myself another place to breathe so I don't feel like I'm desperate for air towards the end of some of those phrases. All right, so let me go from the beginning. So I played it with the metronome before. I might do it one more time with the metronome before I play it again and try and free up the phrasing a little bit, but without rushing. So a little bit more free, a little bit more rubato, but not getting faster, not pushing ahead. Maybe leaning forward just a little bit in spots, but not like it shouldn't have this overall feeling of like leaning forward or pressing ahead. I think I'm actually going to play it with the metronome a hair slower. I was playing it at dog quarter note equals 90, but I think I want to give 85 a try. Might be too slow, but I'm going to try it anyway. Forgot to turn my page before. I messed up the pulse again. Let me do that again. If I'm not ready for that high A, it will not happen the way it needs to. So I have to really prepare for it. And that was like just slow enough to throw off some of my breathing that I had planned out. But I think it was a good way to check in and make sure I'm not going too fast. Now let me try it without the metronome. And hopefully this will sound a little bit better. I try that from the top again. I think we'll just go ahead and mark this breath in as like a maybe. I'm just gonna do that much again, actually. And hopefully this time I won't forget to turn. I'm gonna go back into that again. I keep moving in my head. It's like I'm not lining up with which note should be the emphasis, like which note is the beat. After I take that breath, it's almost like I'm turning that high into the downbeat, and it shouldn't be. I'm gonna try getting into that one more time. That's a little bit better. It wasn't 100% the way I wanted it, but it felt a little bit better. Let me try that again. That's an A. I've done that a couple times where I've misread the note off by one line or one space. Yeah, I do want want to hold that last note longer, and I'm going to pull back a little bit. I'm going to go back from where I turned this page and play through to the end and try and pace that a little bit better. I still feel like I'm speeding up quite a bit going in towards the end. It may not be a bad thing, but I don't want to speed up too much. I lost my footing a little bit towards the end, but I think most of that was better. It's a little bit weak by the last note because I'm running out of air, but still not bad. I am going to take that breath out because I think the other one, even though the breath after the F sharp would make more sense musically, I can't do it today, and I don't think I need both. I'm gonna go from the beginning again. I didn't turn my page. I want to do that transition again. First of all, I want to try and get my page turns in the right spot. I'm going to go back to the last breath before I'm meant to turn. I don't have that one marked in, so I've taken it almost every time. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that one in. I've rested my face enough, and I'm going to go ahead and play through what might be the final time through.